Hey guys, long time no see. I'm gonna make this video a little shorter than average. I don't want to tuck your ear off too much, but I did get a chance to head out to Palm Desert Raceway here in Southern California. It's about 230 miles from my house. It's hilarious. I checked it on my phone, like the Maps app, and it's like 188 miles. And then when I hit go, it was like 233 miles. I convinced my wife to head over there with me, and so we drove over there. We ran some laps, and we came back in the same day. In hindsight, I probably should have got a hotel room or stayed the night out there just so it wasn't such a brutally long day. If you guys have never been over to Palm Desert, it's a really nice facility. Parking's a little tricky, to be fair, but the surface is awesome, whether it's wet or dry. Like, the dirt is good. The size, in my opinion, is about perfect for an 8-scale track. We've all been to those 8-scale tracks that are like so big you can barely see your car, out in the lane when it's in the far corners. And I'm sure that most of you, like me, have also raced on some 10-scale tracks, which are just too small, right? They're too cramped. You don't really get to open it up or kind of like stretch the legs of your car. And so I had a good time over there at Palm Desert. I got a chance to run 3 different cars. I actually ran the Mugen MBX-8R Eco, which drove pretty good, even though it doesn't have like my normal setup on it, which I'll tell you about in another video when we do the appropriate setup. I got a chance to run the new TLR buggy, which can be built as either a nitro or an electric kit right out of the box. And there was actually a factory driver from TLR there, and I got a chance to run his e-buggy. And I asked him before he handed me his radio, I said, hey, if you had to rate your e-buggy on like a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate it? And he's like, it's a 9. I'm like, it's that good? He's like, oh yeah. And so not only did I get to drive mine with my tires and my setup, but I get to drive his with his tires and his setup. And so I feel like I got a pretty good handle on it. To be fair, we were really only there to break in the drivetrain and run some laps to have some fun. Just a little bit of a day trip getaway for me. And then the last car I got to run was the Kyosho MP10e. Now, most of you guys probably know that this is a little bit of it's probably the oldest out of the generation of cars. I have not updated it with the new TKI2 front and rear shocks and shock towers, but I do have them in my bag, so I will be upgrading them later. And it was fun. The dips were a little bit too light on the Kyosho. But like I said, I wanted to just get out and run some laps and break in some drivetrain. This whole 8-scale buggy shootout, it's still going to happen, just not in the same way I had intended it. I'm going to be 100% honest with you guys. I didn't realize some of the difficulties I would run into. I've always made videos for you guys, and it's been just me having to be accountable to me. It never occurred to me at how much work it was going to be to build all the cars, break in all the drivetrain, and more importantly, how difficult it would be to get 4 different guys to get together and kind of coordinate their schedules to get out and either practice or race on the same day. And not only that, but as I talk to some of my friends, it's absolutely clear to me that we have different expectations on what makes a good car. So I decided after talking to my wife that I'm just going to do it the way I've always done it. I'm going to build the cars, which I've already done. We're going to run the cars. I'm going to share my feedback. We'll talk about the upgrades. The one thing we're going to do differently this time that we didn't do in the past is I'm going to work hard to kind of not use the factory setup. I think that almost nobody you talk to is actually racing their cars using a factory or a kit setup. And so I think it's more important to try and find a setup that I'm really happy with, that gives me the best driving experience. It's got a good speed, comfort, all that kind of stuff, so that I can give you guys my opinion of what the full potential of the car is, and so forth. And to be fair, we all know, you guys have been watching for years, we all know that I'm no pro. I'll never be a pro. When I'm well practiced and everything's going good, I'm probably like an upper level intermediate. And when I'm not, when I'm not practiced, then I'm gonna get smoked. So that's just the way it is. So anyways, thanks for coming and hanging out. Just wanted to give you guys a quick update. And yeah, if you get a chance to head over to Palm Desert, it's a good time. I will be heading down to Thunder Alley here very soon, and also Channel Islands to run these cars some more. And we have some other products that I'd like to try out, some new compounds that I'm gonna do. We already had them tested somewhere else, and so I'm going to do a little verification myself. So thanks for watching. We'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.